All right, welcome back to SnakeFang. I'm your host, Logan James, and today I'm with the co-host that seems to always bail on me once a week, Gregory Matthews. I'm here today to talk about...
I don't ever bail on you.
You bailed on me the other day.
Once.
You bailed on me twice.
That was the first time.
Because technically you bailed on the Ghost podcast because you left early. So
because we didn't have it all set up in time.
It was set up in time. What do you mean? Everything was set up.
Whatever.
Oh, no, it wasn't set up because I had to get everything set up. Whatever, dude.
Exactly.
So pre-roll, you can always follow us on Twitter at SnakeFangPod or Instagram at SnakeFangPodcast, or you can always send us an email at SnakeFangPodcast@gmail.com. Before we get into the topic that I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to have a little rant because of something that I read today. It's in regards to Uber. You know, of course, you know Uber. We both use Uber. Yeah, exactly. What's Lyft, dude? We don't use Lyft.
I've never used Lyft once.
But the article I read today, so Uber's trying to come out with Uber flying taxis. So, and the model that they set up is they want to have a contraption, like a plane that's fully electric that can go 150 to 200 miles an hour, that has a 60-mile range, and it can sit 5 people. But the kick is they're not building it. They're having a conference and a summit to have somebody else, a different person, build it. All they want to do is be the middleman for this product, the same as Uber, where they're connecting pilots to passengers.
Okay.
But to me, that's fucked up. If I'm building that for that, I'll just...
you don't have the means and the scale to do it. So that's why they do it.
No, but they're not doing anything.
Who?
Uber.
Yes, they are. They're the liaison. They're the person that has the operations and the power to direct this. Make it a real viable business. So it's a real thing.
I get what you're saying in regards to Uber driving, but this is never been made, never been done. If I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm gonna build this
because this person that's building it has the technical capabilities to build something really cool, but they don't have the money or the resources or the power or the influence or the anything other than just the technical mechanical part to build it. They don't have the business savvy or the connections to present and scale it very fast, but Uber does. So that's why they're having this competition. I don't even know anything about this, but this makes a lot of sense. Having a competition, everyone pitches your best ideas. And then once they get a few of the really good ideas, they start to narrow it down. They start to see which one they're going to go with. And then they sort of pump millions and billions of dollars or whatever the number is into that investment, and then they're able to help that person out. That person will still make a hefty amount of money.
See, and I get what you're saying on that aspect, with Uber and their driving platform. I understand that, connecting the people, but this is a never been done before product. It will be simplistic for an individual that builds it to just say, I'm going to go to Y Combinator. I'm going to go to Peter Thiel. I'm going to go to any of these individuals.
No, it was not simplistic to say that.
They're going to say,
how do you get in front of Peter Thiel, dude?
I build a fucking airplane that's fully electric that could sit 5 people, and it's an air taxi. That's how I get in front of Peter Thiel.
No, they're not building the finished product, dude. They're building a prototype.
No.
Yes, they are. They're building an idea, a prototype. Yes, they are. It's impossible. How could they build a finished product?
I swear. The prototype, quote unquote, the schematics. It is a
prototype.
No, the schematics and prototype, it's not, they don't have a prototype, but the schematics are there. They want these schematics. They want somebody else for the production. They want some other people to build it. They're not going to build it. Uber's not going to ever build it.
You're talking about later on?
No, at the beginning. Uber's never going to do anything. All they want to do is have you build it and build a production line of them, and then they're just going to use that. But if you build the whole production line, just do it yourself.
Oh my God. What do you mean building the whole production line, dude?
They're building every single plane. I will be building. They're like,
no, you won't. That doesn't make sense. They'll get a manufacturer to do that.
That's what I'm saying. I swear. That's exactly what the article. They don't want to be a part of anything in regards to the building.
Yeah, no one builds any of their own stuff. Everyone subs out that manufacturing to someone else.
No, but it's not even going to be an Uber plane. It's going to be you bought the plane, right?
Sure.
You bought the plane from the production company.
Okay.
They want that production company to build it. Whoever. I could build it. You could build it. Whoever can build this whole line of things.
Once you get it, we'll build you the online connectivity. If This company, they're saying, hey, third-party company, if you build this and invest in this and blah, 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 and then you sell it to people and then people want to use it, we'll provide the network in order for people to make money and profit and to be a thriving business.
But as myself, I could just say I could easily take that platform, just like Lyft does, just like all of these cities have their own platforms for their driving.
Maybe, yeah, you could. Sure. Good luck.
Easily.
Uber will say, good luck, dude. They'll stomp your ass.
But they're not stomping Lyft. They're not stomping.
They kind of are. What's the market share?
I think Lyft, I don't know. I know Lyft still has a decent amount.
Decent, less than 20%.
Market share of Lyft. I feel like it still has a decent percentage of it.
What's it called?
It's gone from 1%. So right now, Uber owns 74.
Yeah,
and
but
Lyft's
not 20, whatever.
It shows 19.
Yeah.
So right there, 20. Like, it's not terribly
20. That's domination.
But that's in regards to driving. This is a whole new platform.
It's all part of the same network, though, dude.
No, it's not. This is a whole.
It's related.
This is a whole.
Uber already has all the data on all those people. It's very related.
I mean,
dude.
in regards to driving,
it's transportation. It's very related.
But to me, I feel like that's scummy. That's just like how we were talking about when a company comes into.
Dude, it's whatever you want to call it, scummy. Like, I agree with you, dude. I'm a left viewing, political left viewing. I like the word socialism a lot more than the word capitalism. I still work in a commission-only job that's very capitalistic based because that's what we're in. That's what we live in. I don't think it's right. But that's what these corporations do, dude. They drive down small business. They push down people. They build up profits in corporations for the small people at the top, and then every other worker gets a steady salary to live their life, get a basic house, get a basic car, be able to, do 1 or 2 vacations a year with their 2 weeks paid time off, all those kinds of things. That's what capitalism does. And people perceive this whole idea. This is all coming from me watching that Michael Moore, Capitalism, A True Love Story. And it's all good when the economy is doing really well. Like right now, the economy is doing well. And so people that are in wage or salary employees, they're not only starting to see raises, but they're starting to see bonuses on performance. And the economy is doing well. And there's other projects going on. But as soon as that starts to fall off, like 2007, 2008, 2009, when it did, everyone started to panic. And that's when there was no building, no construction going on. There was not a lot of people spending money on entertainment, and only this few people at the top that had a lot of money were still doing really, really well.
Well, I mean,
a lot of people that were in the middle class were getting shrunk.
So I forget who said this in regards to capitalism, but it makes really sense. Capitalism works in the truest form of capitalism when it's dealing with true competition.
Yes.
Our capitalism does not work because we do not have true competition.
Have such gigantic corporations that control so much market share and so much power.
Just like the super
they
thing.
Dominate.
And that's what, like,
when you think of, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was saying that, like, it made me mad because, like, when I read that, it was the same concept of when my friend came to me at a university and he said, "Oh, our project is to pitch an idea, a new viable business process to this company, a so-called company." And that company came in and that person said, "Oh yeah, we love these projects. We love them." He's like, "We actually used one recently that we paid consultants to do like so much. We paid so much money. They weren't doing anything." And then the project, the people came in the university and they had this project, the idea. We took it and it works even better. And I'm like, you're not, like, that doesn't make any sense. You're just taking. You're not even giving back. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. Like Uber saying, "Yeah, build this, and we're gonna take over."
Whoever did it was like, "Oh, this would be really cool. This would be really big for me." They do it. They get to put that in their resume. Hopefully, that corporation hires them later on. I mean, the whole thing with the capitalism thing, with the Michael Moore thing, was like the best talent used to strive to do things like philosophy or like medicine or farming. I mean, hunting, anything, like all these different trades, like welding and carpentry and all, like very talented, smart individuals used to go out and set out and do these different trades and tasks and things that provided benefit to their societies and their communities. And then they started their own business. And then that's what true capitalism is like, it's a small town and like each person has their trade that they're really good at and they serve the other people in their community, and then they service each other, do trades for all of each other in their little village or whatever you want to call it. But now that it's grown on such a scale that everything's like pushing papers and like all these things that aren't, all the people that are doing that hard work now are working under a corporate label and they're getting a small salary, but all the people and all those top executives that are pushing paper and they're making large strategic decisions, and it is important. Like, for the way that it's set up, those people getting paid are most likely making the correct amount of money for what they have to do and the amount of stress that they have operating a huge billion-dollar corporation. Like, because of the way it's set up, not saying that's right, but because of the way it's set up, it's okay in my eyes for a CEO of ExxonMobil to make $10 million a year. He's probably got a lot of shit on his plate. He's got oil rigs all over the world. He's got people. He's got countries that he's dealing with trade deals and all sorts of stuff. So he has a lot on his plate. But those top level kids coming out of top schools in the United States or overseas in, Oxford, Harvard, all these top universities, they're getting recruited to these desk jobs as traders and as finance people that are just literally like with the whole 2008, the scheme of like mortgage-backed securities and the housing market and the stock market and the bankruptcies by all the major car manufacturers in the United States, American-made car manufacturers, like all of that going down was a causation of all these financial industries just acting crazy like the Wild Wild West. And they make so much money, all these Wall Street yuppies, that's what all the smartest individuals want to do. They don't want to be a professor anymore. They don't want to be a school teacher. They don't want to be a carpenter. They don't want to be a welder. You know what I mean?
They want
to go be a
YouTuber.
Finance. Well, yeah, now there's a whole nother aspect with social media, but that's like small. Those are influencers.
Yeah,
but that's a small percentage of the population. There's a large percentage of the population that goes into financial services and doesn't do a whole lot other than strategically move money around and like build assets for people that have jobs, and like those people make a bunch of money, and that's why the top talent is attracted to that. Like, I have a friend, the smartest kid that I know from my old school, Millsaps College, like pure genius. Well, two of them really smart. One of them's actually going into scientific research. The kid was unbelievably smart, and he's going to work with
That's
like
fantastic.
this huge like medical whatever, and like doing a lot of research. And I mean, I think he wants to cure cancer or something like crazy. Like,
love it.
Anyway, so the other kid, super smart, went and worked in New York City at Citibank and a internship over the summer, and like now he's going to be like a trader or whatever, like a stockbroker.
Yeah,
like he's not like he's going to make a lot of money. He's going to be a very successful person. He's an intelligent
but he's
genius,
making
but like
money specifically for
like
he could
financial
do,
gain.
He could
do
do
something
more.
insane. Dude.
Yeah,
he could do something insanely productive and awesome. And I think he's going to probably just work as a stockbroker and work 60 to 70 hours a week and just kill himself to make a bunch of money because of capitalism, dude.
Well, I know.
There's no incentive for him to like take his skills and like go work on like human rights or like animal rights or like, research or become a professor himself and teach other people. Like, I have never, and I know that you're probably like this too a lot, Logan. I have never needed a tutor or wanted someone to teach me how to do something. Now, like, yes, a lecture in class, like show me how to do the math problem or whatever. But like outside of class, I wanted to teach myself or I'd figure it out. Like I never sought like someone to like, hey, like Logan, can you help me tutor me on this? Like, it's gonna take me more time.
Wait,
for you
time out. I did help you. I did help tutor you on chemistry.
We didn't know. You didn't know what you were doing either.
I knew a little bit more.
But yeah, you did for sure. Because I didn't know anything. I knew negative. So nothing is better than negative.
Yeah.
Negative. So, like, this kid literally taught a classroom of like 4 of us football players. He brought us in there, and I was so skeptical. I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do it because I was like, I wanted to hang out and chill. And then I'm like, I didn't understand it at all. It was statistics, and like for some reason I couldn't get the standard deviations and all this, and like. The way he taught, I was like, oh my God, this guy's a genius. Like, he's so smart and he knows it, but he can actually break it down too for like all of us that didn't understand it at all. And I got like a 90 on that test. And I never, ever needed someone to teach me something before. I'd always just learn it myself out of the textbook or whatever. So I know it was a tangent,
No. That was a little bit of a tangent. Everything that I was going to go over. We have a viewer saying that they're watching. Thanks for watching the stream. But yeah, with that, like, and I get what you're saying. Like, to me, like, my last words on that is, if you listen to this podcast and you are the person that built this whole production line of air taxis, don't be an idiot and just give the logistics to Uber. Say, I'm gonna build it my own.
They want to outsource it because they just want the check and get it off
but
their plate.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't be that guy. Be the guy that's gonna do more. You know what I mean? Be the guy that's going to take to the next level. Be the guy that's going to be like, I just built this new thing that nobody has in the entire world. I'm going to make something even bigger out of it rather than just hand it off in regards to the corporations. Like, just just do it, man. Like, and that made me like, that was my little thing with that at the beginning. But that's not even what this podcast is about. That was just my little rant. But the podcast, the topic that I want to talk to you about, it's not really a topic. But like, I've been thinking a lot lately, and things that just like hurt my mind, and like, it's weird to think about, you know what I mean? It's weird to think about. I had an individual send me this, this message. It's actually my girlfriend sent me this, and, this is the kind of stuff I think about all the time. So this person read a book, right? And this is the quote from the person. They said, it was about this main character, and it said, the gist is that the person you think of as yourself exists only for you. And even if you don't really know who that is, every person you meet, have a relationship with, or make eye contact with in the street creates a version of you in their heads. You're not the same person to your mom, your dad, your siblings, your coworkers, your neighbors, or your friends. There are 1,000 different versions of yourself out there in people's mind. You exist in each version, and yet you yourself isn't really a someone at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, if you actually think about it, like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah, but I literally, and it's so funny because I was talking to my mom about something like this today, and it was like, she was like, you said that like we don't all see the world the same way. And I used to think, oh, you're crazy. And like, now I'm seeing that. Like, that's the same thing. Like, you don't see, like, grass to you isn't what grass is to me. Or like,
yeah, that's what
geographical like understanding and awareness, like distance to you isn't the same as distance to me. Like, all these things are totally different. We all see the world in very different ways.
Like the color thing. Like, what if like this is white to me?
Yeah,
but you're white
is something else. Yeah, sure. I think that it's more than likely not, because certain color shades do go together better. Like blues go with
the way that you always taught was that way. You get what I'm saying?
I know,
like,
but it does naturally, like the flow of seeing like black and red.
But what I'm saying, if you were always taught that way,
I know, but you would still, if my this black and red looks good together because it flows. But if my black was your purple, the purple and red wouldn't look that good. The purple that I see wouldn't look as good with this red.
Yeah, but what you're thinking of is how you're taught. Because,
no, I'm not.
And yes, it is, because
it's little learned, but it still has a natural. I mean, what I meant more with the grass and the sky is just like the perception of like the world. When you wake up in the morning, like if I woke up in the morning out of bed, I already have a perception in my mind of like what the world is, what needs to be done in the world, what I need to do to get this day started, and that's totally different from you.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
In regards
I used to wake up
yeah.
and all Sundays, like, dude, Sundays were like trippy to me. Like, I had to start getting prepared for my Monday. That's how you kind of are now. Like, Sundays, you're like, I need to just do this. I used to be like that. Now I'm like, I don't care anymore. Sunday's just another day of the week. I'm going to do whatever. And then, especially now that it's different than like when I was in school and I had baseball and all these other things, like Saturday, Sunday was my free day. And then it's like, oh, well, now I'm back to strict. Now I'm like in a commission job that like I have a flexibility that Sunday night is whatever to do. It's just another night. And then like if I get my stuff done, I like to get stuff done on Sunday. I like to get laundry done and all these things. But if I don't, guess what? It'll get done later on.
Yeah,
like,
and it feels different. Like a Sunday night to you totally feels different than a Sunday night to me.
Yeah.
Like
even just vibes in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, think of how much different in general, regardless of whether you have a job that you love, whether you don't work, whether you like to party, whether you don't. I think that everyone can agree that there's a little bit, and now it's not everyone, but a majority of the people, even from different backgrounds of like work and happiness, have a different vibe on a Monday or Tuesday night than they do on like on a Friday, Saturday.
They
like
feel,
you feel the atmosphere of the world, just like, let's party,
which
like,
is different.
Let's have fun
to me than it is to you, which is like, but that's like mind blowing if you actually think about it, and you're like, what in the world is going on? Like, this feels like the end of the week to me. But for some people, like I know people that have a work schedule that like they work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And so Sunday to them just feels like a regular like Wednesday or like Thursday. That would feel to me, you know what I mean, in regards to like working and environment in their life. But it's completely different than when they're like off on those other days. That feels like the weekend, and it's completely different vibe. It's completely different. Like when you wake up on those days, I'm different from you. You're different from me. It's hard to match up with people, but stuff like that, like always happens where I'm thinking about, I'm like, that's just insane. If you think about it too long, your mind's going to explode. Like it's hard to understand it. And there's not really a real answer to these things. Yeah. It's just based off of person to person, just like the color thing and stuff like that. Like I get what you're saying, but still at the end of the day, it's not a proven thing. And they probably won't prove it in the near future.
Yeah.
But like there's other things like every day that I have the same kind of feeling. Like when I'm driving on the road, I'm just thinking to myself, like I get that this is how we were taught, but I'm just like, why are we all just like, why are we doing this? Why are we all going this way? Like
why is this Wi-Fi horrible?
Why don't we all just drive?
That's a better question.
I don't know. But like, why don't we all just drive randomly? Like we're all in this like pattern and we're all driving and we're all doing this. And like, that freaks me out. If you like really think hard about it, you're like, dude, can I just not turn and go sideways? Like I have to do this.
Yeah, you abide by stuff, dude.
You abide by it, but it's just weird. It freaks me out. Like things like that.
What's even worse is how cyclical things are.
Yeah, of course.
God, it's disgusting, dude.
But yeah, and then there was other things. One of the other things was that the question of like, does infinity actually exist in our physical universe? Like, if you think about it, going to infinity, like you just keep going, but there's already an end to our universe, but there's not, because infinity is real. And it just like stuff like that's insanity to me.
Yeah.
But there was a couple questions that I wanted to actually ask you. They're like philosophical ones. One of them was, is free will real, or is it just an illusion? I know previously we actually talked on a podcast in regards to the time traveling one, where I said that one of the theories was that your past, your present, and your future all dictates at the same time. Like your future self is telling you to do something now so that you get to that point, and your past self did something for you to get to that point. Would that be considered free will, or is free will really just an illusion? Like, I know you're told like you're free to do whatever you want, but are you really free to do whatever you want? Or like, are you programmed systematically to do things? Like you go to Chipotle all the time. Like, yeah, you're free to do it, but are you really free to do that? Or is that just going to happen?
It's tough. And it's not easy to make that statement.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You have no answer for that, do you?
Not really, dude. I mean,
I don't think we have free will. I honestly don't. Like, I do believe in that theory where basically our future dictates our past. Basically, like, there is another, like, in regards to time, there's already our future self ahead of us. And so basically what they've done is already dictating what I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there is free will. Another one that I have here for you is it possible to live a normal life and not ever tell a lie? Do you think like you could ever just never tell a lie? You've obviously told lies.
Sorry, I'm reading on this. It's ridiculous, but I'm reading this 2011 state baseball stuff. I just, for some reason, because that guy's at the baseball game, so I'm not focused right now, and I'm really pissed off looking at this, dude.
Okay, but answer the question, man.
Did you know that Lake Howell went to the regional
dear
final?
Lord.
And Deltona was in the state championship our senior year?
Yes.
Deltona.
Yeah.
We crushed them.
It's fantastic.
Anyways.
So do you think it's possible for somebody to live a normal life and never tell a lie?
No.
Why not?
Because you need to, like, scheme.
You have to. I feel the same way. You have to. No, you don't have to lie, like.
What do you consider a lie? Like, hey, honey, do I look fat in these jeans?
I mean,
have
you
ever seen The Invention of Lying? How ruthless they are?
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Yeah.
I mean, when people ask you questions, you have to give the truth all the time. Like, how are you feeling today? Well, my stomach really hurts. I just did diarrhea in the toilet for 20 minutes. Like, no, you have to lie. I feel fine.
Like, how do I look? Oh, you look ugly as shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you can't say stuff like that. I agree, and I don't think that you could live a happy, normal life if you didn't lie.
Of course
like
not.
It would be, like you said, the invention of lying. That's where
it's not even like, it's not like there's a difference in a pathological liar that's like lying to like better themselves consistently, or there's a difference in just like fabricating truths or like not going into full details about things just to like make life easier. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? Good. That's how everything goes.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate small talk. It's like small talk is basic social communication. Hey, how you doing? Doing pretty good, man. How you been? I'm good. How's the family? Oh, the family's great. Yeah, we just went on vacation. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we were there. Blah blah. That's fucking life, dude. Like that's human interaction. That's all it is. It's not like this crazy like conspiracy or something.
The other one I wanted to ask you was, does a person's name influence the person that they become? Like, I actually see that from time to time. Like, anyone that I know, like, I'm not going to say specific names because then they're like my friends. And then they're like, dude, you call me a piece of shit. But, like, with specific names, I always associate them with, like, maybe not like a not a go-getter, but I know
it's
like
your perception of that name in your mind specifically.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's probably like that. I forget what effect it is. It's like if you see it, you buy a car and you're like, I've never seen this car in the road,
and then all of a sudden
you see it all over the place. Because that's like with me, it's like I put my mind into that kind of perspective, and then I'm like, oh, all these people are like the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all Gregs are terrible. Basically, everyone that I've met, but I associate with them with that. And then when there's like a weird name that I've never heard before, like I'm like one of my I can name this guy. His name's Eston, and like I've never heard maybe I've heard of it, but I've never met someone named Eston, so I can't really associate it with anything. Like he's a great guy, he's amazing, like you know what I mean. But usually I put him into like when I meet a Greg, I immediately just cookie cutter like. The caker, like white boy, basically, like you know what I mean. Like that's who you are. That's what people think. I'm like blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what a Greg is. Like, don't get me wrong. But I mean, do you have that same kind of feeling? Like when you do you think like you associate people's names with a certain like category of like who they are? Like,
not entirely.
But do you see it like that? Have you there's several people that you know that have the same name, and you're like they're sort of like the same mannerisms and same kind of person. Like I've seen that. Like
not entirely. I think the car thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, definitely with the car thing. And then
I don't think that like. I mean, maybe every once in a while, but that's just weird.
It's weird, right? To think about it. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not. If you think about it too long, your mind explodes.
Yeah.
And then another one that I was thinking about, I don't really want to get into religion. We're not going to speak about religion, but I feel like the same thing is occurring, like how religion was set up, like is the same thing with social media. Like you have influencers and you have followers, and like there's so many people that follow that person. And I'm like, is this how religion was started? Is this like how it was based on? Like we're doing the same kind of transition now. Like I get it in regards to like more known people, obviously like celebrities, this, that, and the other. But now we're getting to the frame where it's like these people are less known. They really haven't made a name for themselves, and now they're these social media influencers. And I'm like, is this the same way like in like back during biblical times? Is this how like it was made? Like the person that we basically pray to and we look at as worship. Like Jesus, like worship, like is that the same kind of concept? Because it was a nobody.
It kind of is, yeah.
It was a nobody until like he was like doing these things to make a name for himself. And like if you think about it, like flash forward to here, it's the same kind of concept,
same thing, dude. Everything's cyclical. It's disgusting.
So
everything's a cycle, dude.
I mean, I guess everything is a cycle, but you have to break. You have to break the cycle.
The whole universe, everything in the universe is a circle, dude, and it's why pi exists, because everything is this. The pi is half the circumference or whatever.
Yeah.
The radius times the times pi always makes the circumference.
Yeah.
Like, everything is a circle, no matter shape or size.
Good linguistic skills.
The solar system.
Yeah.
Is in a circle. The Earth is rotating in a circle. Everything's orbiting. Everything's cyclical. The summers, the seasons go over and over. And that's why there's no loop. That's what eternity is, dude. This little loop. And that's why existence will never end. If Big Bang is true, there was a Big Bang. There's energy. Then it comes down. And then it cycles back around. And that's why our existence, intelligent life, we know exist. And that's why it will never cease to exist. Even if our specific civilization, our society does not, which it obviously most likely will not live forever because eventually the sun will run out of energy and we most likely won't be able to get out of this solar system in that amount of time to
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I think about, like, that's like what
paradox,
that's like the routine kind of aspect to it as well. That's a cyclical thing as well. Everything's cyclical. Like, my thing is the American dream. Like, that was cool and all, but now I just see it as an American death loop. Like, I see it as a cyclical thing. Like, you wake up, you put on your work clothes. For a majority of people, I wouldn't say maybe for everyone. I see it from, like, my perspective, like the same kind of thing we're talking about. It's different perspective, different understandings. So, like, from my perspective, you wake up, put on your work clothes, get in the same car, drive down the same road at the same time, get to the same office, go and sit at the same desk, have the same conversation with the same coworkers on a daily basis, because it never changes. I mean,
it changes based on the season.
But it's like the same. Like,
let's
it's
talk about
over and
LeBron
over.
James. Let's talk about the NBA. Then let's talk about the football. Then let's talk about, like, Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Exactly, but it's always reoccurring. Like, it's the same thing.
Constant loop.
Like, I sit down, have the same lunch, go back, do the same thing, sit at the same place, get up, go do all the same things, and then restart it all over the next day the exact same way. It's like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, except this shit's real life, and I'm not making money off of this movie. Yeah. Like, it's the same kind of concept, and basically, eventually, the only thing that changes in life, in that kind of perspective, unless you force to change that cyclical way, is that the cells in your body are the only things that really move forward. It's not like you're like, this isn't Benjamin Button or whatever the hell it is. Like, those are the only things that progress or going forward and not in this cyclical pattern until you die. Like, it's the same kind of concept. And then, like, I know retirees that they have that cyclical mindset, so they basically have the same cyclical ways even when they're retired. Like, on a Monday they do this, on a Tuesday they do this, on Wednesday they do this, and like every week it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I think, like, that's a terrible way to live, but I think you have to force yourself out of it. I think it's hard to, like, not be in that cyclical way. I know some of our friends that aren't in it, and it seems like a great life. Like, it seems really fun to be able to just, like, wake up and do whatever. And I feel like it's more or less with, like, it's like this engineered fence to me. Like, your life right now is a fence. And you're in this position where you have a routine that you can only walk to so far until you hit that fence. And then maybe you change it up a little bit and you get into a different role or a different environment. That fence just became a little bit bigger. Like, you still walk, and you hit a fence. Like, I want to get to the point in my life where all the fences are gone and, like, I can walk one way forever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to hit the thing where it's, restart. I don't want to do that. I want to just keep going and keep going and keep going. And that also, like, messes with my mind. I'm like, dude, I just did this shit last Thursday. And I know 2 months from now on a Thursday, I'm going to be doing the same thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, no, you won't. No, you won't. And then it's like, you look around at all the individuals. And I guess it's like that kind of mentality. It's who you surround yourself with. Is what dictates your life. And I mean, when you're in, like, an environment where, of course, you have to, like, go to work and stuff like that, when you're in that environment, you look around, you're like, all these people do the same thing. Like, it's exactly the same for them too. It's not just me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I think you got to break that, because that messes with your mind. Just like how perspective of, like, me thinking you're an okay dude. You're not the best. You're just all right. But to somebody else, one of our other friends, dude, you're great. You're Greg Matthews. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about perspective, and that stuff messes with my mind, really. I've never really thought something through, like, that deep, and then at the end of it, like, my mind was like, oh yeah, you're fine. No, it was like, oh, that was fucked up, dude. Like, now what are you gonna do? And you just freak out. It's like the simulation theory. It's like time travel to me. It's like all of those things. There's so many crazy things in life that, like, if you think about it too long, if you think about it too hard, your mind's gonna explode.
Yeah, this is the thing I was trying to look at. The theory of eternal recurrence is a theory that the universe and all existence and energy has been recurring and will continue to recur in a self-similar form an infinite number of times across infinite time or space. This theory is founded in Indian philosophy and in ancient Egypt and was subsequently taken up by the Pythagoreans and Stoics. With the decline of antiquity, the spread of Christianity, the theory fell into disuse in the Western world, with the exception of Friedrich Nietzsche. You've heard of that name?
You mean Friedrich Nietzsche?
Yeah. Friedrich Nietzsche, this guy.
Yeah, I think that
he's a German philosopher. And
I think that's
all
the
that
guy
stuff.
that he developed the God theory. Actually, I think that was him as well.
I forget what it's eternal recurrence, but there's another name for what.
And that's why basically
calls
the
it,
people back in the day, they believed in reincarnation so much, was that essentially like they just thought that energy was reoccurring, and that their energy of their life and their spirit would be reoccurring, and they'd be reincarnated into a different being or form.
Well, his is the statement, God is dead, death of God, occurring several times in Nietzsche's works, has become his best known remark. On a basis, most commentators regard him as an atheist, blah, 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 blah. A nihilist is a man who judges the world ought not to be, the world does not exist.
Yeah.
I don't know, but just this whole thing about his theory of eternal return is like crazy. It's basically like eternal return says that the universe has existed, and where's his quote? It's really Nietzsche first invokes the idea of eternal return in a parable in The Gay Science, and also in a chapter of his book of the Vision and in the Riddle. Among other places, Nietzsche contemplates the idea as potentially horrifying and paralyzing, and says its burden is the heaviest weight imaginable.
Yeah.
Because it's like there is no true fate. Our fate is already predetermined, predestinated.
So then there's no free will, dude.
It's constantly looped.
Yeah, it's constantly looped. Now, okay, so I forget this guy's name, but it was the guy that went against him in regards to God's Not Dead. Like he just was a theorist, and he just wanted to like play around with it. And one of the things like to I guess to argue that point was his idea in regards to the God theory was that there's no absolute. There's like, if you believe in infinite, there's no absolute. And like his idea was that like if you take a bike, you draw a circle around that bike. Now, how did that bike get there? How to get there somehow? Why are those parts there? Why is it there? He's like, you have to draw a bigger circle around that to why it got there. There's a manufacturing plant. He's like, that's how that bike got there. And he's like, but how that manufacturing plant get there? Then you have to draw a circle around the entire world, because basically that's where they got all the resources to build the manufacturing plant, build this. And it's like, now where, yeah. But this guy was just theorizing against that. It was a counter argument. It was like, because that's what they did back in the day. A lot of these people, which I think we don't do at all today, where theorists, like, they just wanted to show different points, not necessarily like right or wrong, but to like brainstorm, quote unquote, and say, well, what about this way? What about that way? And just get different kind of perspectives and ideas. And that was one of this guy's, which is like, that's a mind-blowing one too. If you keep drawing circles, it's like, where's the end? It's like, there will be always one unknown. There will never, not everything in the entire world will ever be known. There will always be one unknown. No matter how big you draw that circle, there's still another thing outside of that circle that is unknown. And that's another thing that blows my mind. Like, you think about that, that's like, what do you mean? Like, we can't know everything?
Yeah, you can't.
You'll never know everything. And
Yeah,
that stuff's insane to me. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. I've been running out a little bit of ideas in regards to like the podcast topics, because I keep having you on and you don't want to brainstorm with me any ideas.
I do, dude. There's plenty of stuff to talk about.
But we're going to do the Pokemon card game, I think, next week. And then also next week, I'm having Dustin come on, and I'm going to try and set it up for Tuesday, and we're going to talk about two different applications. It's called Stash and Acorns. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, where it's just like basically you swipe your debit card and then like it bumps it up to the next dollar, and then they invest it for you. And like, I'm totally against those things. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're just giving free money away basically to somebody for no reason, that you could just do it yourself.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, and then fix the Twitch. You guys can, for the audio podcast, you guys can always watch the live podcast on twitch.tv/SnakeFang podcast. And then you missed Sunday's nonsense news, but we'll do it this upcoming Sunday as well. Oh, one other thing, dude, the Met Gala was last night, but that's getting more media and coverage than that Iran deal that we just flubbed.
Yeah.
How insane is that? That's crazy to me that people care more about celebrities than they care about nuclear weapons.
I was just gonna say that to me is part of why
that's a total different
people don't talk about like philosophy and like theory anymore, because the media reports information that people find interesting, and that's what they find interesting is what's going on with celebrities.
And that's what I was gonna. Another one that we're gonna, an upcoming one is in regards to propaganda, and talk about like propaganda like that, where it just gets our mind off of like what's really going on in the world, because it's like, dude, you guys really care about people that dressed up fancy for the Met Gala compared to this huge thing that just occurred in our life that I would say 90% of people have no idea about, and it could affect us in a serious way. We just don't know yet, but like people don't even know about it. You know what I mean? It's crazy to me. I watched John Oliver's special about it, and I love that dude. He has Last Week Tonight's great. He took out an ad, a commercial ad in regards to the Hannity special on Fox News to run it during that thing, because he's like, this is the only way I'm going to get to Donald Trump is if I have commercials run on his favorite news network. And he literally posted that ad and that commercial on, like, either before or during that, his Hannity's whatever on his news segment. And the thing was like, he's like, Trump, I need you to listen. He's like, right now, they have 0 bombs or something like that. They have 10 years before they can get out of this deal, get out of these sanctions in regards to nuclear weapons. He's like, right now they have 10 years, okay? No matter what, they have 10 years before they can get out of it. He's like, if you eliminate these sanctions, he's like, then they have 0 years. He's like, and we ran the math. 0 is less than 10 by a lot. And then like the whole thing was based on this other commercial, and he's like, the guy's like, do you guys smell that? And then like a nuclear bomb explodes. He's like, don't flub this deal. 0's less than 10. Like, but people don't even know that. People don't even know what's going on. They'd rather care about the Met Gala. But that's another thing for another episode upcoming in regards to like propaganda. So we'll see you back Sunday.
Sounds good, man.
Are you gonna actually come?
Yeah.
We try to get Mitch to be a co-host and come on here, but he has other engagements that he has to do. But he'll be back on soon, hopefully. So other than that, dude, any last words?
That's it, dude. Last word is peace.
All right, guys. Catch you later.